Ladies and gentlemen, it is boys' night. It is dudes' party. It is balls only. Welcome to episode 1.5. What is this? Is
or we could say episode
this?
1 Gaiden. You know, a little side story.
We cannot seem to. We're just gonna be the known as the podcast with the most side episodes and tangent episodes of any show.
No.
It'll be 2028 and we'll be on episode 14.
Hey, that's a pretty good rate.
Chronology. But yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome and hello everybody. It is I, Arthur A. Abbott, and I am joined, of course, by Professor Bloom and Taka. Is unfortunately not here with us today. We started this podcast at the worst possible time because Taka, I won't say exactly what. I mean, I don't know how I think she's pretty public with it, but she works for a company in the anime, manga, gaming industry, and that job requires you to go to conventions like 3 to 5 times a year. And it just so happened that this year, like 2 of those conventions landed on the same month. So she is very swamped. Plus, like other obligations, she's been extremely swamped. So she was unavailable for the last couple of weeks. So we decided to have a dudes duding out episode, a bros hanging episode.
I thought it would be a good time movie to choose something, First, I was thinking like buddy cop type movie, and then I thought, no. We can go much more fun, much more schlocky, much more exploitation. And so I recommended a personal favorite of mine called Sister Street Fighter, a Japanese karate exploitation film from 1974, and Arthur blithely agreed, knowing nothing about it.
Nothing.
So
I walked into this. I did not look at the wiki. I did not watch the trailer. I heard.
I actually
Sister
had
Street
to
Fighter,
rip my own DVD of it to make sure that he was getting the uncut version, because any version that's on an American streaming service is the 80-minute R-rated dubbed version, and you want to watch the original Japanese subtitled 86-minute version, because they had to cut 6 minutes of footage to get an R rating. I should point out this was an X-rated film, not for sexual content, but for brief moments of shocking violence. And I think that's great. Personally.
Now, my question, were the B-cup titties in the R-rated version, or is that also cut content?
I believe those are in the R-rated version.
Really?
I would have to check.
Something I want noted for the record, by the way, everyone, is that Bloom has now, with 2 separate suggestions, subjected this pod to B-cup titties.
I'm so excited for Conquest. When we talk about
I am
that.
Our next episode 2 is going to be on Conquest, and it is
even crazier than this film,
man.
I would say.
Possibly even. I mean, this film is pretty crazy, but yeah, Conquest is. I'm probably gonna rewatch it again before next week, just to so it's as fresh as possible in my mind.
Right.
But it is. It's so fulgy it hurts. It's incredible. I love it. And we also to sneak peek everyone for next week. Not only will we be discussing Conquest next week, but we will also be discussing weapons a little bit.
Yes.
We will be sidetracking into a modern film because the 3 of us all have seen it.
We've all seen it,
and
we've all got a lot to say.
We have a lot to say, and it's very good.
It's excellent. If you haven't seen Weapons yet, go see it while it's still in theaters. You need to see it. Biggest screen you can. Yeah. Also, I can confirm the version of Sister Street Fighter that is on Tubi does indeed contain nudity, but it is also a cropped pan and scan with horribly washed out colors. So you're welcome for the DVD rip.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the rip.
From my own personal collection. This is not a new movie to me. This is a new movie to Arthur.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I should say, you really, like, I'm looking over what's currently in theaters, and it is, Weapons is by far, that's in the theater right now. Yes. And the best thing, by far, is Weapons. Like, and there's some good stuff still in there right now.
Sure.
Naked Gun.
I still need to see the Naked Gun.
The Naked Gun is good.
Don't say too much. I'm planning to see it this weekend.
Yes, please do. It is fun. It loses me a little bit at certain points, but I think it was. I did not expect to see a movie like that ever again. Honestly, I'll be real.
A small to mid-budget comedy that focuses on being funny.
Yes,
they're a dead breed of film. They disappeared almost entirely. Comedy was subsumed by MCU-style glibness and folded into action movies.
I guess nowadays the only times you really see comedy is like a vehicle for some dickhead who went on the Joe Rogan podcast at some point. Like that's all.
Yeah.
I think that's like the only thing, and it's like always low budget.
Or I was gonna say like Friendship, which was a vehicle for Tim Robinson, and I loved it, but
that's true. Well, that I don't know.
Oh, it's a comedy for sure.
Friendship? Well, no. See, the thing with Friendship is like, it's just such a bizarre movie because it's like an A24 weirdo movie.
Right.
I almost think it doesn't count.
Oh, it was a comedy.
For sure. Not as not a comedy necessarily, but like,
right.
I have a hard time counting
it's not a major studio picture the way we used to get all the time for comedies. The summer and fall would be full of comedies all the time. And,
yes.
The 90s, 2000s, even into the 2010s, but they kind of disappeared in the age of the huge blockbuster.
Looking at the theater like right now, like where's Nobody 2 is an action with some comedy in it. Naked Gun obviously, but that's it's Freakier Friday.
that's your family, comedy. Those still exist.
Yeah. Wait,
that's,
hold on,
Lindsay Lohan really needed money.
Hold on, Primitive War is already in theaters right now? No way.
Is that what you're seeing this weekend?
Right, I know. Oh, that's what I'm seeing this weekend, baby. I want to talk about Primitive War.
Well, I'm definitely seeing Naked Gun. Primitive War.
I'm actually gonna force
you shared the trailer. It looked awful. It looked really. Wait, Primitive War is 2 hours 15 minutes long. That's an.
Wait, it's what?
I just pulled up the IMDb. That's unbearably long for what looks like real garbage.
Oh shit! Nizad 2 is in IMAX now.
Is it?
Yeah, it
now,
is.
See,
okay. That's another thing I got to see.
I have a hobby. I think I've told you about. I really like long distance walking, which is a strange thing to count as a hobby. But that means that when I want to go see a movie now, I walk to the theater, which is either 5 miles or 9 miles away, depending on which theater I want to go to. So it's either a 10 or 18 mile round trip.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Which is a lot of fun, I think, because it means, you've got time to process the movie you just saw while you're walking. Though I will point
it's relaxing. You get a lot of air.
Well, my walk home from Weapons was as the sun was setting past a really big cemetery, which was great.
Oh.
Very, very good. But speaking of movies we don't get anymore, the martial arts exploitation film.
Oh,
you like that segue?
Yes. That's a good segue.
We don't get movies like Sister Street Fighter anymore, and really I think we only did for like a 10-year period from the mid 1970s to the mid 1980s.
You know what's funny? Well, kind of. So the last time we got any movie even close to similar to this, I saw it. I gotta look this up and see what year was this. It was in 2009. in the shitty in my town had 2 theaters when I was living there, and I had to go to the shitty theater for this one, the one with like 3 screens. It was Ninja Assassin.
Oh, I know that one. See,
yeah,
I'd say that's almost too high quality for what I'm talking about. That's too well made.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, I don't mean the quality of the movie. I mean that's like a major studio picture. You know,
true.
Not an independent, freak movie from overseas. Which we just, closer would be like Ichi the Killer.
Oh, yeah.
Anything like that. Who's that director? And that was 2001.
That
Takashi
director loves
Miike.
needles, right?
Yeah. Takashi Miike loves, he's a real one. he understands. But so Sister Street Fighter, for a little context for everybody here, 1974 film. So keep in mind, this is when, Bruce Lee mania had kind of been at its peak, because I think he just died, the year prior? Like 1973 or so? Is that when he died?
I believe so, right?
Yep, 1973. And, distributors were looking for the next big martial arts star, and both Hong Kong and Japan were cranking out these movies. I feel like American audiences are more familiar with Hong Kong, martial arts films from this time period.
Yeah, because distributors would import them, and they'd end up like spammed at the cheap movie theaters and eventually spammed on VHS much time out.
And then they'd be at the video store, they'd be on cable. And one that was a pretty big hit in the US in drive-thrus in 1974 was a movie called The Street Fighter, starring Shinichi Chiba, billed as Sonny Chiba. And The Street Fighter is notable for being the first film to receive an X rating solely for violence. Not for sexual content, because the violence was so severe that it couldn't be given an R rating. And it's a little quaint by today's standards of, what we think of as movie violence, but 2 scenes that really stand out in that one. He castrates a guy by just grabbing his dick and ripping it straight off. And another scene where he punches a guy in the head so hard that he just flattens his skull, and you get like a cut-in of what's supposed to be an X-ray, and it's somebody punching like a rubber skeleton, and then just blood shoots out of this dude's face. It's great. So that movie being a big hit, immediately a spin-off was put in production called Sister Street Fighter, where the premise, very simple plot premise, it's a girl is going to find her brother who's gone missing. That's the plot. Lots of weird stuff happens from A to B, but it stars a young martial artist, real martial artist in real life, not a just for movie kind of thing, because you can't really fake that too well, called Etsuko Shiomi. She was billed in the US as Sue Shiomi, because I guess Etsuko is too hard for Americans to say. It's a little silly.
Yeah, the classic gotta Americanize everything.
Right.
And that proceeded to last for the next 40 years.
Yeah. Have your jelly donuts, Arthur. But actually, Tarantino fans, you should watch Sister Street Fighter. Because I would be shocked if Tarantino wasn't a fan of this movie. Just because of the way it is. And also because Sonny Chiba plays Hattori Hanzo in the Kill Bill movies. So if you watch, Street Fighter or Sister Street Fighter, where he also appears, and think, boy, that guy looks familiar, it's because you've seen him in American films. He passed away, I think, in 2021. But a very long career in, karate movies. So basically, though, imagine, you're kind of Bruce Lee, Hong Kong, kung fu film, but it's karate, Japanese, and way stranger. And you've got Sister Street Fighter.
I think from frame one, this movie starts bizarre. So we open on the opening credits, which is just the lead actress doing karate moves with a red background over the credits, which is, I guess, it's not that
big dramatic
the weirdest thing in the world.
Too.
Yeah, it's big dramatic title cards. She's just like flipping around and kicking and punching.
Kaleidoscopic camera moves. Kind of funky 70s soundtrack.
Yeah, it's getting you ready. And then immediately we flash in and we're in a dirty office. Dirty office in Hong Kong. And a man with a golden spectacles and holding a British cane under it.
It's more like a riding crop.
It's like the riding crop. You know what you would expect, like a colonel in like the ye old British Army, as they're putting down some poor other nation with guns who it's just the most bizarre look. And he's apparently, I guess he's part of the Hong Kong police.
Yep.
And he's got the main character here.
Yep.
And
Koryu
he's just like, hey,
is her name.
Koryu, hey, your brother went missing. He was working for us. He was trying to stop the drugs. And
the drug smuggler.
The drug smuggling becomes a absolutely insane plot point by the end of the movie.
This kind of falls in that grand tradition of, because drugs are very, very illegal in Japan, when they're used as a plot device, you can tell a lot of Japanese authors maybe don't really know how they work or what they do, which ends up being really funny sometimes.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. That's a little later. That's a little later. But so he's just like, your brother. We lost contact with your brother. We don't know. We don't know where he is. Go meet up with our agent. We're not going to give you any information about who this agent is, really.
Yep, but it's at a nightclub.
Or why. Yeah, it's at a nightclub. Bring a rose.
Yeah, the signal's
we're not
going
to explain much more to you, right? And so the
Koryu
editing
hasn't said a single word at this point either, apart from my brother.
She's just kind of like there. She's a very wooden plank for the first scene, and then so the editing kind of just jump cuts to her.
Yep. Now she's in
bar.
Yokohama. Oh, well, first, not the bar yet. She goes to the restaurant first. You know.
Is the restaurant before the bar?
Yeah, the restaurant.
No, wait.
It's like
are you sure the restaurant isn't after the bar?
No, the kind of rough and tumble place with the sailors.
Oh.
And she sits down at the bar and, the bartender asks what you want, and she says spaghetti.
Yeah.
She orders a spaghetti at the bar, and he says, coming right up. And then two sailors, loudishly start hitting on her. So, she just starts beating them up.
Yeah, she just assaults these. I mean, I will say these men are being very creepy,
they
and
were
they won't
putting
stop
hands
touching
on
her.
Well, first she shows off her martial arts acumen by stabbing two flies with toothpicks, and then just feeds them to the guys. And they have very over-the-top cartoon reactions. They get in a nice big restaurant fight. She throws spaghetti in somebody's face. And it's kind of setting the tone as comedic here. You think, oh, this is going to be funny. And the action is, to the movie's credit, pretty much all of the fight scenes have pretty great action choreography. It's easy to tell what's going on.
Yeah, I will say some of the shots, it's pretty clear that she's missing by a mile.
Sure.
Like there were some clear moments
some big air
throughout
kicks.
some of the fights. Yeah, there were some moments through some of the fights there. I would say it was a very much we got 3 months to film this. That takes good enough. We got to get to the next location. We got 26 scenes to shoot today.
We got to talk about the Foley work though, because these are the loudest, most comedic sounding punch effects. How people say the Foley work in Indiana Jones is over the top with the punch sound effects. It's downright subtle compared to this.
It is like the PlayStation 1 punch sound over and over and over again.
I think it's great. But her cousins show up at that point. She meets up with her
and then they also start beating ass.
Yep. Yeah, her cousin shows up and is just like, oh, are we fighting people? How's it going? And then, get some exposition. She's a martial arts champion.
Hold. There's something very important. You missed something here. You missed something.
What am I missing?
So they're beating ass. The fight scene's going on. Fucking snap cut out of nowhere to the restaurant. She's just hanging out with her uncle at his restaurant with her cousins. It is not explained what happens with the rest of the fight. Yep. It's just over.
I mean, obviously she won.
The scene just ends.
Yeah, we established she kicks ass. Because here's the thing: all that Koryu is here to do in the film. She's here to beat people up with just wild over-the-top violence and to occasionally make like a cute smile.
Yeah.
And she does.
I should note it that the second scene here, well, I guess third scene, it kind of invalidates the second scene because why is she going into a restaurant to get a plate of spaghetti when her uncle
then brings her
owns a
out
restaurant?
For dinner.
Yeah,
well, look, she just got off the boat at Yokohama. She's hungry. So, she's just craving spaghetti.
The famed Yokohama seas full of the spaghetti.
I love she shows up to like a rough and tumble, bar full of thailers like she's in Shenmue or something. And then, sits down at the bar. Bartender's like, "Hey, what do you want?" She's like, "1 spaghetti, please." And he's like, "Coming right up." As if that's a thing people order there all the time.
It's a normal order.
She's surrounded by like burly sailors drinking. And she just sits down and orders a spaghetti.
He like ducks down after she makes the order. So like, what does he have? Like this spaghetti pot underneath the counter? Like,
yeah, he's got that thing going.
He comes back up and hands her the spaghetti, where then she like pie faces someone with the spaghetti. And it's like, what was going on with the spaghetti? I need to know.
Well, the spaghetti was clearly just ordered so that she could shove it in somebody's face. And she does.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah.
Right. We also then, get a bit of an exposition dump. Her brother, Mansei, is missing. We were told he was, working for the police to bust a drug operation. And, her uncle is very remorseful that, I did everything I could to find him, but he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and it
Keep
should be
that in mind.
It's pretty clear that the Yakuza, this is the Yakuza they're dealing with,
it's
or
the mafia.
Some element of the Yakuza. Yeah, it's the mafia, but at no point in the movie is the word Yakuza ever used. Probably because the filmmakers were afraid of being killed.
Right. Probably because you just don't do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Then, another snap cut. We're in the club, and we're watching a lady do a provocative dance.
Yeah, she's
from two angles,
breastily.
because there are mirrors on the ceiling, and we actually start with that shot of the mirrors on the ceiling and then pan down to her. Quite a cool shot. There's a lot of funky camera angles in this movie that I think they make it more fun.
You know what I also appreciate is that this following scene is shot, like, after they leave the bar, is shot completely in night, and they don't try to do day to night.
Nope,
they don't try to
it's just nighttime.
It's just nighttime. And, it's not shot, the lighting isn't incredible, but I actually appreciate that a lot more, that it's accurately shot to what it would look like. I don't like when night scenes are too well lit.
Right. But we as the audience can see things pretty well. When she's at the bar, she picks up a rose, and is very standing out because she's in like a traditional martial arts outfit most of the movie, never street clothes. Because we need to know at all times that she is martial arts lady. She means business. She puts a rose in her drink, which catches the attention of a pretty lady down at the end of the bar, who tries to slip away. She keeps getting accosted by some gentlemen, but she flashes a rose tattoo on her thigh, and that lets Koryu know, okay, that's my contact. And as she's trying to get to her, men start accosting her, so she leaps into action to try to, diffuse the situation. She gets nabbed by a bunch of, tough guy-looking types. Whips a fork
what's funny is
into
that
a dude's hand.
There's two different accostings happening in this scene, actually. Because
one who is just a guy who is flirting with her.
Yeah. She's just the guy who's flirting with her is just like, hey, what the fuck?
And then
the Yakuza show up and they're like,
they've got a knife on her.
Wait, you didn't ask permission to leave? We knew you were a traitor. And then seeing all this happen, the main character just grabs a fork and whips it at the dude's hand, hits it perfectly
right in there. And then
giving Fong the ability to run away, not very successfully, I should note, but she tried.
I mean, there's like 5 of them, but then Koryu shows up in the alley, starts just beating people, striking a martial arts pose. The guys are like, fine, okay, I guess it's fist o'clock. And then a quite good alleyway fight commences. Well shot,
with a little
bit
of silliness near the end, I will say, because near the end, so the girl has been dragged away, and she's fighting her way to try to get to her, and she just stops to throw a blade back at a guy who's back in the alley for no reason.
A Japanese sickle after they both climbed up to the roof by spider crawling through a narrow alley.
Yeah, and she knocked the guy back down, so he's all the way at the bottom. There's really not a lot this guy can do. And he pulls out the sickle, and he throws it at her, and she just catches it.
Yup.
And then throws it back into his head. And, his eye,
right? Yeah,
he
He catches it with his hand, but it takes his eye out, I think.
Yeah.
So there's our first kind of shocking violence all of a sudden.
Yeah, and this was completely unnecessary. Not the violence isn't necessary. That's badass.
She could have just left.
She could have just left. 20 seconds ago, she could have just left and run after the car that is that they're piling this girl into.
Right.
She just really wanted to kill.
A mystery man stops the car. He knocks over some barrels, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes Sonny Chiba's character, who's just in tight white pants and a normal shirt. And he just shows up and starts beating the fuck out of these guys. We don't know who this dude is. Neither does Koryu. She's looking at him like, who the fuck is this guy? Who just is he's really hammering on these dudes. Looks very cool, I gotta say. And then he steals their car.
He steals the car
and drives
the girl
off
and drives
with
off.
the girl in it. And she's, Koryu's like, what the fuck? Oh well. And then just another, snap cut where it's daytime now. It's the next day. And now we get our first look at the hierarchy of the big bads here.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And this is where this movie stands out as so much fun to me. Because all of the bad guys in this movie feel like characters in a video game. It's like when you play a beat 'em up and there are constantly new goon characters who show up, get a name card, and it's oh, that's who I'm fighting now.
Yeah, this is every mini boss and boss for the first 5 stages. It appears here.
So we've got white suit guy.
Who do we have?
White suit guy. He throws knives. Throws one into the head of a mannequin. Keep those mannequins in mind. They come back later. We've got big fat guy, who I guess is supposed to be very physically strong. We see him lifting weights in one scene, but he's only got 1 plate on each side of the bar. He's just fat. There's the guy whose eye got put out. He's playing with a sai. So we've got a knives and sickles guy. We've got the fat guy with the aviators and sideburns. I don't remember any of their names. And then in walks big evil-looking martial arts man. Almost looks like, oh, that's where they got the look for M. Bison. Capcom probably saw this and was like, oh yeah, that's our baddie. Oh, and he always has a bunch of thugs with him who all have those Japanese straw bucket hats.
Yes.
That cover your whole head.
But it covers their entire heads, yeah.
Right. There's a name for those.
They look like bucket pyramid heads.
Right. I'm trying to remember the name of that hat. I think...
Yeah, so while he's walking in, though, we see flashes of other guys. There's a guy with the little wooden sticks. There's a guy,
the nunchuck guy,
with a big long pole.
Oh, wait, no, that's at the big boss's pool. That's later.
Wait, I thought this is the big boss's pool.
No, they're in the office first.
Oh,
you're
right.
All the sub guys are in the office. Then they go to the pool. A little after that, and the big bad, the owner of the drug smuggling operation. His name is what was it? Like Kakuzaki. That's it. And it's we'll get to him because he's the most comically evil dude that you could possibly have come up with. It's great. But no, so we meet all the sub bosses first. And then we're at the dojo for Koryu and her brother, and then we meet Hibiki, which is Sonny Chiba's character. He's like a pro there. And we get some cool scenes of, them training and whatnot. We also meet Emi, who's a girl around Koryu's age, who is obsessed with martial arts now because Hibiki saved her, from horrible assault.
There's a lot of
sexual assault in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, like a typical 1970s martial arts movie amount. Just to say,
this movie has like a layer of exploitation film, like smattered over it, like a glaze over a baby back rib almost. Right,
and that's why it will just have those scenes suddenly where it's like, oh, there's boobies now, or where it's like, oh, his insides are outsides now. That it's that kind of exploitation sleaze where you can imagine this being like sold to drive-through movie theaters as like, the kids are going to love this one.
All the teenagers will come in and they'll go, ew.
Yeah, they'll love it. I mean, to be fair, yeah, it's kind of great.
It is. Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
Right. No, that's when we find out, though, that informant Fang Xing has been taken to Hibiki's girlfriend's place, a ballet studio. I don't remember the girlfriend's name. She shows up later just to throw a few punches. As one does.
She's also a martial artist, apparently, which we learn after they are assaulted. Because so what happens is, they're first they're doing the meeting at the dojo, and then you flash forward to, because he's like, oh yeah, I took her to my girlfriend's ballet instruction studio, and so you flash forward to the ballet instruction studio, and you see her. Well, you see the main character and her. Yeah. Well, flash forward. I think this is flash forward because then that's when Lee shows up at the she meets up with Fang, and Fang is explaining to her like, I saw your brother get his ass beat.
Yeah, he got kidnapped by Kakuzaki, who. Yeah, no, this is like a flashback because she's telling Koryu what happened.
It's flashing back to what happened, and
which is just her.
He apparently has cameras
getting boned
all over
by Kakuzaki, who instead of the TV has his security camera feed going to the TV in his bedroom.
Yeah, which his security camera feed has like panning shots, and it has like camera workers on each of them, I guess.
The emergency alert button on the side of his mattress, which like is very clearly a button that they just sewed onto the side of a mattress. It's great. Very, very low effort. And then we're not even seeing the security feed anymore. We're just watching the scene where Koryu's brother, Mansei, tries to fight off like 5 dudes, but gets beat up by the nunchuck guy. Nunchuck guy has got to be one of my favorite of the sub-bosses in the movie.
I have a personal favorite. You're not going to guess who it is.
No, I'm going to guess that it's just the white woman who's just there at the pool for some reason.
Oh, yeah, okay, slight spoiler for this next scene is that during the sub boss parade, the boss of each stage parade that is upcoming, there is just white woman from South Africa, and
she's 6 feet tall. She's huge.
Just doing nothing, and it should be noted that she is never used again.
Never shows
She's not
up.
in every other one of the mercenaries is shown in later scenes. She never comes back. They removed white woman from the movie.
But basically, we watched Monse get his ass kicked by nunchuck guy. Then we flash back. Fang, hands Monse's locket to her. That's important. That's the key to everything. Yeah. That uncovers the whole drug smuggling operation later on. But, Koryu takes it. Very emotional. And conveniently, after, telling this whole scene, Fang starts freaking out.
She's losing it. She finishes her for full story, the whole description, and then she suddenly is just screaming and lashing and smashing
writhing
things
around.
And going, yeah, I need drugs! I need drugs right now!
Because she's like, he made me take heroin. I need it. I need it now.
That's how heroin works, everybody. Suddenly, you do heroin all the time, and then you're suddenly fine for off your heroin for like 3 days, and then the withdrawals hit. This is totally normal and absolutely what happens.
Yep. Meanwhile,
and so in the course of like 10 minutes, she starts like actually dying. Like she's going through a full basically overdose.
And, she looks terrible because she's been beaten up. Like there's actually quite good makeup. She looks like she's been through it. But as that's going on, the straw bucket hat, weird warrior monks show up to the ballet studio, and naturally, they immediely all take off their hats because you can't really fight.
And their leader, evil bad man. It's implied that he had some kind of issue with
he's got
Lee
beef.
And her family. Yeah, he's got beef with the Longs, and he also has beef with the studio, with the other dojo.
Right,
that I think from.
He wants his martial arts school to be superior. And he's working with Kakuzaki kind of in an uneasy truce because he wants to come out on top. Inubashiri is that guy's name. And, the big bad of the other martial arts school.
Before we get into this fight, I want it noted. So this is point number 1 where Lee is pretty clearly explained where her brother is. She literally says the last place I saw him was in the basement
of Kakuzaki's compound.
Kakuzaki's compound, right? So this is in the first 20 minutes of the movie we have learned this, okay? Put a pin in that though for later. So the fight starts, and there's some major ass beatings going on.
The girls are
Lee
kicking
comes
ass.
downstairs.
It's like 2-on-7, and they're just whipping ass.
Yeah, and then
is
suddenly
rolling around on the floor, sweating, panting, when all of a sudden my favorite sub character comes in. Why don't you give me your reaction to when?
Well, okay, wait. I think before
happens.
the sub character comes in, that's Sunny. Sunny does come in and like basically finish them off. And is that when? No, that doesn't happen yet. But no, it does it.
No, Sunny doesn't show up yet.
Oh, he
that's when Koryu kicks a dude's head into the wall.
Yeah, okay,
it goes through a poster. It's very funny.
Yeah,
Fang's trying to go to the window for air or something.
Yeah, and she's like sweating and gross, and she goes over to the window. She pulls open the blinds, like dragging them down, and then suddenly, whoop, she gets a dart.
Yup.
In the chest from across the street on an elevation, a man with a big shield.
A big, tribal shield, a blowgun, and a mohawk. He almost looks like Mola Ram from Temple of Doom with the mohawk.
And he just...
shooting darts. kills the bird in the room.
Kills the bird. Yeah, because Lee comes back upstairs and sees that she's gotten hit and she's dying, and then he starts firing off, like he misses Lee, and then he hits the bird.
And then he just scurries away on the rooftops. The world's most conspicuous man.
Lee drops down and then goes up and just looks out the window and stands there for an extended period of time, just waiting to get shot. And
it's fine.
He just scampers away, like skitters across the rooftops. Like, I guess he ran out. I guess he only brought 3 darts.
Yep. And then suddenly we're back to the harbor. Koryu is pondering the locket, is, sad that Fang has been murdered. And she just doesn't know what to do, even though she's just been told where her brother is. But then the character we met earlier pulls up in a nice little looking classic VW bug, and that's Emmy, who's got a lime green dress in the 1970s fashion with the widest collar you've ever seen and a perm, which, even though she's probably about 18 years old, makes her look 40.
Yeah.
But then, the girls start bonding. They immediately become friends. She explains...
Well, no, they start bonding by attacking each other, as women do.
Yeah, It's literally... Arthur is not exaggerating. Mid-conversation, Emmy just turns and, launches a kick at Koryu, who blocks it, and then they get in a little fight, and then they start giggling like they're, now they're best friends. Because they both love karate. That's how it works.
True, yes. Very normal human bonding.
Right. It's a cute little scene. They're in the park, and the end result of that is the locket. Koryu drops it, breaks open, and there's a lock of hair. Now, that hair is the key to the drug smuggling operation, but now we get the best scene in the movie.
Oh, here we go.
We go to Kakuzaki's compound, and there is what looks like an Olympic-sized swimming pool. It's gigantic. Maybe even larger. It's so large it doesn't fit in one shot. And we get the whole Rogues Gallery. Also, I have to point out, because I'm a classical music nerd, the music playing for that scene is Beethoven's Third Symphony, Eroica. Heroic. It's one of my favorites. We see Kakuzaki smoking a big cigar, and just all around the edge of the pool are all the sub-bosses doing their things. We have Nunchuck Guy wearing a fishnet shirt, just smashing some concrete blocks. We've got the Chain and Sickle Guy. We've got a Tonfa Guy. I don't think the Tonfa Guy ever shows up again. And then just big white woman.
just large white woman doing karate pose.
Yep.
The
kickboxers.
The most important one. There is the Amazonian kickboxer team.
And we've got the big stick guy. And all of these, every time they come up, there's a huge title card that shows up showing their name and their style. So you know how that happens in Kill Bill every time someone shows up?
Yeah.
Tarantino got it from here. 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And now, it's so over the top. I love it.
There's something about the Amazonians I want to note that's fascinating. Okay, these are not... So when the audience hears the word Amazonian, I assume you are all thinking, oh, big, tall, massive lady. No, these are all tiny women in Fred Flintstone costumes.
They're like
all
5 foot tall Thai women who all have pigtails for some reason.
They walk up to a punching bag and kick it, and then move, and the next person comes up and kicks it, and they're just looping kicks into punching bags.
They are the least convincing of the martial artists in the movie. Everybody else looks like real martial artists.
Well, I will spoil a little later. During their fight scene, they are defeated because for some reason they are wearing masks. They get kicked in the face and their masks shatter. And I guess their masks contained all their power because as soon as their mask breaks, they fall down to the ground, dead.
I think one of them got the mask jabbed into her face. It wasn't clear. But now, the whole time, Big Boss Kakuzaki, he's smoking a stogie. He's just fondling women as he's maintaining a conversation with somebody. That's when the martial art sub-boss, Inubashiri shows up. reporting his failure, when he just decides to attack Kakuzaki. He's like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
This guy keeps disrespecting me. Goes to attack him
Kakuzaki
while he is like...
that he basically asks,
he
why
says,
do you have
I
all these
collect
freaks all around
people.
here?
He's like, some rich people, they have race horses, they have an exotic dog. I collect people. And he's like, you mean you collected me? And he's like, yeah, of course. What the fuck do you think? You're my pet. Basically. This enrages the guy enough.
So he goes to hit him, right? But then fucking Kakuzaki jumps like
Triple
300
backflip.
feet in the air. Well, then it should be noted what position he was in.
Yeah,
he was laying down on the side of the pool. He was on top of a woman.
Not just on top of a woman.
Hands
he
on
was
boobies.
Mouth in her belly button. Like he was licking her stomach.
He was slurping that tum, and then she goes for the kick, and then the woman flies into the pool, and he goes into the air from a vertical position where he was sideways, does a triple backflip, lands on a staircase, 10 feet away, and
Suddenly,
has a claw in his hand ready.
Weapon in hand. Like, claw hand like Vega in Street Fighter. And then they both just start laughing. And he's like, I guess you still got it. And then one of my favorite lines in the movie, he just offhandedly says, I killed 50 bulls with my bare hands, don't you know?
Yeah, in Mexico, in South America. He said, in South America, I killed 50 bulls with my bare hands.
It's like, seeing the move he just pulled, I kind of believe it. Now, we should point out, Kakuzaki is not like a ripped-looking martial artist. He is like a 50-year-old man in pretty good shape, but like a little doughy.
Yeah, well, we don't realize how doughy he is until the
final scene,
the final confrontation.
He's clearly wearing a girdle. But he's always got big shades on, gangster haircut, the widest collar on his shirt you've ever seen. Right. Looks quite cool, to be honest, in that like 1970s way. And then, he starts dishing the dirt to Inubashiri, the, sub-boss martial artist guy. And he shows video footage of Mansei, of Koryu's brother. And he's like, oh yeah, he's my drug guinea pig now. I have him in a cell. I just keep injecting heroin into him.
1.2 grams of heroin.
1.2 grams of heroin.
And it should be noted that he's showing him this video because he basically said, because he basically says, hey, listen, you sell your soul to me, you become my guy, I'll give you like infinite money, and I'll make your studio
your
like the
martial arts school will
studio.
be the number one.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck it, sure, whatever. And so he's in a room, handing him literally just wads of cash, just stacks.
Yep.
And he's like, check this out. This is fucking funny. I just
literally
torture this dude for fun.
The craziest looking 1970s TV remote you've ever seen to, turn on the TV and show the footage, which conveniently then shows Koryu showing up to the compound. Because, she's not a dummy. She knows where she's got to go.
Yeah.
Except she jumps over the fence with like a 15-foot vertical leap. And then, like, 5 dudes
from a standing position.
Yeah, from a standing position. Then, like, 5 dudes immediately surround her. And she doesn't say anything.
Yeah, about this, I want to note that this entire movie has, like, video game logic constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Of, like...
It's the best.
Like, people will just be alerted to your presence on entry into a zone. Like, not sound, not fucking, not visual noticing. Like, you just are in an area, and then the
it's
bad
like,
guys
Elder
will know where you
Scrolls
are.
Oblivion police logic. Stop right there, criminal scum. When, you're in the zone. So, Inubashiri shows up. She's like, she's mine. And now they're on the coast. Very dramatic.
Yeah, I think it is. So this is I kind of started making logic out of this of like, because this is very, very random. Like they are at the gate, like they're at the barbed wire fence,
right.
And then suddenly she says, she's mine, and then they teleport to an ocean
cliff side with a big suspension bridge.
I think it's implied that this is on the property. It is very close to the but they just never do a very good job of transitioning you. No, they do a very good bad job of that. But yeah, they're near this bridge and they're just fighting, and Ira's kicking her fucking ass.
Yeah, she's not doing well. But he stops the fight and says, "Well, you're gonna die, so let me tell you this," and gives the villain monologue, where he tells her something she already knows, which is that your brother is alive in Kakuzaki's basement.
Well, I will give them a little bit of benefit. This is the first official confirm. This is it's like
not
this
the
is
last
basic,
time I saw him, but
lobotomized Holmes moment of you could have figured out where he was, and because that's why you were here in the first place,
right?
And then he basically confirms, he's literally in the basement getting experimented on with drugs. He's alive. And so put a pin in that. I want everyone to put a pin in that. So we're about 35 minutes into the hour and a half film here. That we know where the brother is.
We know where he is.
1/3 into the movie. We
know his status in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but what happens next? Something I personally think movies got to bring back.
Oh my God! So they're fighting on the bridge, and she's getting her
Very
ass
dramatic.
beat in the quote.
Great
in the quote
set
retweets.
piece, honestly.
The ratio is in, and then
L plus ratio plus your brother's on drugs.
And he's got her up against the chain of the bridge, and he punches her, and then suddenly the scene changes, and you get a wide angle shot, and that's not a woman anymore. That's a fucking raggedy ass doll.
It's really floppy, really unconvincing doll.
So bad. It's the worst doll I've ever.
On the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
film ever.
When someone would get hurled across a room, and it would suddenly turn into a really bad looking doll, and that was funny because it's a sitcom.
Yes.
It's like that. Only, they were doing it for drama to show her falling 100 feet into the ocean.
It looked like a Naked Gun bit. It was she just
it really does.
100 feet this doll unconvincingly falls, and doesn't even have the right color of it's fur skin, and it's just falling, and it lightly plops into the water. And he marches back in, and he's like, "Yeah, I fucking killed her. She's getting eaten by the sharks assuredly right now."
Reasonable assumption. She fell 100 feet. Assumption.
Yeah, she got her ass beat into unconsciousness. Got dropped off of a 100-foot drop into the ocean, into a rocky area of the ocean. She's probably dead.
Sure.
That's a pretty high chance.
Except that, we're 35 minutes into the film.
Yeah. So we go back in, and he's in there. And they're like, "Yeah, look, we're messing with the guy high on heroin again." We
discover the betrayal now.
Yes.
Because who shows up to Kakuzaki's drug operation, which is in a subterranean cave for some reason? He could have just done it in the house. No one would know. You're on an isolated coastal property.
I think the subterranean cave is underneath his house. I believe
it is.
This is all
but
implied. Yeah, it's all, yeah.
Why not just do it in the house? You've got a big isolated mansion with security. You don't need to hide it.
What's the point of having an evil?
That's true. If I was an evil drug kingpin, I would also have that. But it's Koryu and Mansei's uncle who shows up from the restaurant scene earlier, where he'd been saying, I tried everything to find him, but I just can't. He's been dealing with Kakuzaki the whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Please, stop pumping Mansei full of drugs. I can't stand to see him like this." It's like, "Look, I just want to bring him some cakes," which
is the
world's most
obvious.
Yeah. Kakuzaki opens one, and it's got a note in it that he then, pushes into the guy's mouth, and is like, "You got one more chance."
It should be noted, it's the stupidest note ever, too. It's literally
just like
yeah, Lee's gonna save you. It's like, what was the point of risking your life for this?
You didn't need to tell him that. Nothing changes.
You don't need to. First of all, you don't need to tell him that. Second of all, you don't need to pass him a note. You could just you would just ask to see him, and you could just whisper something to him, right? What is the? Why did you do the fucking file in the cake bit? This is so dumb. Anyone was gonna see this through this, and they did, and then they kick his ass.
Yeah. Now we're taken to a scene not featuring Koryu, because I mean, we know that she's not dead because we're the audience, but one would assume she is, and we see instead Emmy, the other, karate girl, hijacking a truck full of wigs, of hair pieces, and she pulls some hair off one, licks it, and her eyes go wide. She's like, oh, I understand. Now, what was your assumption at this point? Because we knew that, Sonny was on the case. We knew that Emmy is, working with Sonny because they're...
Well, though, isn't the scene... I'm pretty sure the scene where he explains it to the second in command Big Bad happens right before this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because what happens is that he explains the most insane... This plot point is insane.
The way they're smuggling the drugs. How are they smuggling heroin into Japan?
So... They are importing wigs into Japan that they're having built elsewhere, right?
Yep, Southeast Asia.
Apparently, they are sprinkling heroin on the wigs, and that is how they're importing the heroin, which makes no fucking sense because that's not how heroin works.
Just sprinkle it on the wigs. It's fine. It means each wig is, just loaded with heroin. They just got to wring it out.
That's just, and there's another scene later that this doesn't even make, so the scene with Emmy actually doesn't make any sense because she jumps into this pile of wigs and if the amount of heroin they imply is in these wigs is in them, you would overdose immediately from contact with it.
She's fine.
That's shit, bro.
And then she licks one of the wigs.
I saw fucking Pulp Fiction, okay? I watched what happened. It's not good. It doesn't make... Cause it's just... There's not... This is the moment that we were talking about earlier of people...
Japan, they don't know how drugs work.
In Asian countries not understanding how drugs work because they are considered... a one single weed will kill your entire lineage. Is the mindset, right? They have no idea how these things function. So they think that, if you sprinkle a little bit of heroin on every one of these hair pieces, then you can extract it out later and no, that shit's gone, bro. They're in wooden boxes. The wind would take it with it. There's nothing left. What is happening?
Right.
No, how you smuggle heroin is you hide it inside things. You plastic wrap it in bags,
not
and
wigs,
then you
though.
hide that shit inside stuff. You
not
put it in
sprinkling
tires.
it on fake hair.
Yeah.
So then, naturally, Emmy's trying to steal this truck, the whole shipment of heroin wigs. And, the goon squad shows up, led by White Suit, who's we know to be Knife Guy, but he just pulls a gun on her and says,
he's apparently
I'm gonna
also
kill
gun
you.
Guy. Yeah,
he's not gun guy, because his aim is fucking terrible. He misses from 10 feet away, and it lights the whole truck on fire.
Yeah, and then so while they're fighting Emmy, they are also trying to put the truck out because it's a shit ton of money allegedly in in heroin.
300 million worth of heroin or something, which is yen, but still. And then who shows up but Koryu, who's just fine.
So she's been dead for about 7 minutes.
Rope, like Errol Flynn as, Captain Silver or whatever. Just swings into the scene and starts kicking ass. No explanation how she survived, how she found Emmy.
We are never told anything. She's very dry for how wet and beat up she was.
Right. Same outfit, too.
She's just fine. She's actually just fine. She's just kicking ass just the way she did. Just magically teleported there, man. Whatever. Okay.
Yep.
But so the truck sets on fire. They beat people up. They run away. What happens next? I actually don't remember what the next.
Then we get the scene of Kakuzaki yelling at Inubashiri saying, "You said you killed her," and he goes, "It's impossible, Masaka." And we get that another brief shot of the dummy falling into water, which is great. I love that they show it twice. And he says, "Fine, I'll go kill her for real." I mean, I think he made a very reasonable assumption that she was dead. But, when your boss is a maniacal drug kingpin, makes sense. So then they go to storm, the Shorinji Kempo's school. You know, Mansei and Koryu's style, which is where Sunny, you know, is like the second in command instructor. And he shows, you know, Inubashiri shows up. He's threatening everybody. The old man is about to, you know, throw hands, which sadly we don't get to see. But then I think that's when Sunny shows up.
Yeah, this is when Sunny shows up. And then he gets into a fight with Ito, and he just breaks his fucking arm clean off. Like, just breaks the shit out of his arm.
Beating his ass. Now, not literally off. That wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility, given some of the things that happen later in this movie. But he's making this guy look like a fucking joke. Super fast movements, just throwing the guy all over the place. Really just good, straightforward, you know, martial arts beat-em-up type fight. That's when then Inubashiri takes out his stabbers, you know, on his hands. Kind of like brass knuckles, but with just pointed blades. He's fighting dirty now. And he gets some cuts on the other guy. Doesn't matter. He just wrenches his arm. You know, we watch it bend the wrong way. And just sends them running, you know, tail between their legs. We're back to, you know, Kakazaki's place. This is where the uncle comes in again. Now that Koryu's alive, for sure. This is where, you know, one of the most unpleasant scenes of the movie is. Where, you know, Fatty, sub-boss, is sicked on Koryu's cousin. You know, because uncle's daughter. They kidnapped her.
They have her uncle. Yeah, they have her uncle like all ready, and he's like they like hit a button and it like turns a bed around like a and then she's just tied up on the bed, and then he goes get her, and the Fatty just jumps on her and starts doing the rape.
Yep.
And he's just screaming like no, no!
And they hand him a phone. They're like, call Koryu right now. Which one? She doesn't have a number. She doesn't live here. But he gets her on the phone and gives her, you know, the address for an ambush, basically.
Yeah, go to a spooky broken down warehouse, please. Thank you. Bye-bye. Right. That's where your brother is. He got away.
Mansei escaped. He's hiding out there. Go rendezvous.
And later on, it's kind of implied that it didn't matter because the niece seems still super raped. Like she does not seem okay.
Right. I mean, she survives the movie. No, it didn't stop. You know, the assault.
No. Yeah. It continued to happen. So that's yeah. So the main Lee shows up. Right, Lee shows up.
She goes
to
the warehouse. Obviously an ambush.
Oh, of course. And he gets ambushed one at a time ambushed
well,
by
it's
the
like
sub-bosses?
Each sub-boss wants a crack at her. So we've got, you know, big staff guy first, goes after her. Super strong, you know, she tries to catch it. He just throwing her all over the place. And it should be pointed out, there's some cool camera angles here, like some, you know, bird's eye tracking shots through the windows. It is quite a stylish film, I think. You know, for the standards of the time, you know, where a lot of Hong Kong martial arts movies were not very visually creative, let's say. You know, this has a lot of cool shots. Like, you'll be looking through, you know, somebody's looking glass, or you'll be looking through a hole in the mirror, you know, neat stuff like that. But they're basically one at a time, you know, coming after her. From here on out, the movie's pretty much just one fight scene after another.
Yeah, there's only one quick break in here.
Right.
It's just it's fight scene, fight scene. She beats up basically all of the sub bosses. You know, kicks the Amazonesses, like beats them all up.
Well, that's not yet. First, we've got round one with Nunchuck Guy.
Yeah.
Where she manages to take one of his nunchucks away from him. He also screams so much all the time with the most insane, high-pitched, like, you know, hi-ya martial arts yell. And nunchucks are so cool, but they're so stupid.
They're so.
They are
it's a lot
the worst weapon.
Actually, there's something I want to say in general about martial arts.
Yes.
It's watching martial arts movies back in the current day it's a very interesting experience because, as I think the majority of people know at this point, martial arts are extremely inefficient fighting styles.
Right.
We have boiled down like fighting to a science at this point due to the UFC, due to the mixed martial arts. We have boiled down to a science what the most effective and deadly
get somebody on the ground and choke
are.
them out.
Yeah, it's get somebody on the ground and choke them out, or punch them in the head really, really, really hard so they fall down and die. Like, those are the two primary ways that you beat people up that are efficient. Like, if you
Arthur,
put
that's not cool. That's not
this is
cool
true.
And spiritual and, the way of the warrior.
Yeah, there's just so much wasted motion in. It's cool, it's really neat, but yeah, it turns out in reality, because
in reality, you just pull out a gun and you shoot them.
Well, yes, obviously, but I mean, assuming no one has a knife or a gun, or a big stick, then
Koryu could have solved this whole movie with like 2 handguns.
True.
She could have just, like, Ina Bashiri's like, oh, she's mine. She could have just shot him. Real easy, like. And half the goons have guns. They just don't use them because the logic of the movie demands that we want to see cool martial arts fights.
Yeah.
I like that world. I like the world where, your martial arts ability is an extension of, your personality and your beliefs and your soul. Oh, yeah, and also the uncle gets killed by Dark Guy. Dark Guy just shows up again.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Dark Guy, yeah. So it's very funny because the uncle has come back.
Yep, with his daughter who's, like, comatose on her feet.
Yeah, very, very upset. The only thing she says are screaming upsettedness. And then, well, except she does. So here comes the part where I've put those 2 pins in. Because he's about to tell the secrets of where
to
the
Emmy
brother really
and
is.
His son. Well,
yeah,
those 2 didn't know. They never heard from Koryu. Koryu probably should have told Emmy. She had a chance. Yeah. But then, he gets darted and the Amazons show up, who are, again, like 5 feet tall and wearing Fred Flintstone leopard print.
Yeah.
And are just trying to kick. They are wearing fishnets, though, because, you gotta have legs and fishnets.
Yeah, true.
It's a 70s exploitation martial arts movie. But they are by far the least effective fighters in the movie. They
suck. They really suck.
It's the one scene they couldn't make look cool. All the other fights look cool and look good. This Koryu just shows up and kicks them all once and wins.
Yeah. And their masks explode into their faces, and she literally just blocking their kicks extremely easily. But yeah, and so the fight happens, and then they go over to the uncle, and the uncle is dying, and tells him,
"Gonna give exposition with his last breath."
The secret is that I was working for them. I had to take a loan, and then I got in too deep. And also, your brother is. I'll finally tell you the truth. The secret. Your brother is in the basement. It's like, you've known this for the past hour.
She's like, yeah, I know. I tried to break in and free him, and got thrown off a bridge.
Well, but that's the thing, is that she acts like it's new information. She acts like this is fresh, new information.
Okay.
I can't believe it.
Okay, but it would be really, really rude to tell your dying uncle, yeah, I already knew that. She's just being polite and being, surprised, confirming the information. Your brother's in the dungeon. It's like, the dungeon. Look, Koryu does not have a lot of dialogue in the movie. She mostly just hits people a lot, and the other people do the talking. Now, I do want to be clear. I don't think Etsuko Shiomi is a bad actress at all. I think she conveys quite a lot of emotion with her face. But the script just doesn't have her saying very many things.
The script is very bad. Often it's very bad.
it's a very straightforward story that they then just cram a ton of characters into. But it's the whole thing boils down to.
I don't think the dialogue was the dialogue is very it tells you what you need to know about the movie, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. You are not there.
No,
for the dialogue,
this is not a clever or subtle film.
No.
It's in fact incredibly unsubtle, and that's what I like. Literally, like the crates being loaded just say "wig" on them. Like she can't possibly miss.
But
where she's going.
In order to get in, so she knows where she's going. In order to get in, she jumps on one of the wig trucks and throws herself into a wig crate. Which once again, if
coated in heroin,
if they have as much magical heroin as they claim, she should be dead. But I guess that's not how heroin works in this universe.
Right, it's not how it works in Japan.
And so this scene is very funny. She jumps out of the heroin box, and then the AI of the enemy
alerted.
is alerted, and she backs up into a slightly shadowy corner like it's Thief, and they run out, and they run a teeny tiny bit past her, and are just standing there like, and then she walks up and just starts beating their asses, and knocks them both out.
Right in front of her brother's cell, by the way, which I guess is at the loading dock.
Yeah.
And we missed one new sub-boss gets introduced.
Oh?
Who's the guy who just, I guess, is a former priest and just carries a harpoon gun everywhere?
A mini harpoon gun.
A mini harpoon gun on land that he just shoots people with. Like, that's, everybody else is a martial artist or is, abnormally strong or tough. No, he just carries a harpoon gun and shoots people. And he's ordered to go kill Mansei. Because, Kakazaki knows that, Koryu's here to save her brother. So go kill him. Maybe it'll fuck him up even more. He's depraved. He's like, yeah, cause this guy as much suffering as possible. I just keep shooting him full of heroin. Go shoot him. He won't feel it. So they're finally reunited.
Yeah.
He looks like shit.
30 seconds.
He's like purple. And shaking, and his lips are like ashen.
They sprayed a little bit of the chrome from Mad Max Fury Road on his face.
I mean, we got to witness him. These are his last moments.
Yeah, he's gonna blow big,
but not because of the drugs.
No, because within 30 seconds of them reuniting, flump, he gets hit by a spear, a mini spear.
Not just one,
instantly harpooned. Two to the heart.
Two of them straight in his heart. Tries to fight back briefly, but we are talking like there's Yojimbo levels of blood, just bright red.
He is
spraying out of his chest.
Grannies out of his chest. He is done.
So much, and it's so red. Like it's the same kind of red that like Dawn of the Dead zombie blood.
It's very Dawn of the Dead, very Lucio Fulci blood. Yeah,
I love it because it's dramatic. Meanwhile, the priest guy is just smiling, reloads his gun, and is just slowly approaching on Koryu. Because, again, his only fight is shoot harpoon gun. So naturally, she kicks the shit out of him. He, takes off his shirt. He's like, oh, I'm going to fight for real. She just picks up his gun and shoots him. And he pulls surprised face. Like, how could I have been shot?
Yeah, he gets his hand kicked. The gun falls out of his hand. He pulls off his coat, pulls out two of his harpoons, and is like, "I'm going to stab you." And she just rolls through, does a Dark Souls roll to his other side, grabs the gun and shoots him in the chest. And he's got, like, as he dies.
She loves the Dark Souls roll. She does a lot of those.
Yeah, but she looks over. Her brother's super dead. There's blood.
It's
all
not
over the
just
ground.
Like a little bit. The whole floor of the cell. It's like pooled. All of his blood is out of his body now. There's nothing left in there.
Yeah, no, he's done. He's done. There's nothing left.
Like,
it's over.
Super unambiguously dead. And then somehow, as she's contemplating this, the floor just opens up under her. It was a trap floor in the dungeon, and I guess she was standing right on it.
There's apparently a second sub-level underneath the main dungeon for a trapdoor.
Well, your dungeon needs a dungeon.
I guess so. But so
look,
she wakes up, and it's kind of an interesting...
Right, it's a cool shot. It's upside down, like shaky cam hand look. Because she is strung up by her feet above a bunch of, like, I guess they're supposed to look like crystal spikes. But they're...
Yeah, glass or crystal spikes.
They're very obviously, like, cheap plastic.
Yeah. But you were right. You were right, though. I literally have said this before. If I was absurdly, like, multi-hundreds of billions rich, I would build an underground bunker with a bunch of sublevels and secret sublevels under those sublevels.
Right. Like, it's just natural. But then, the whole villain squad shows up to taunt her. Like, your brother's dead. We've got you in control. Oh, Kakuzaki's wife? Some concubine shows up, just starts whipping Koryu. Like with a literal whip, as they are burning the rope, holding her up over the spikes.
Yeah, she's whipping her titties, directly in her titties.
Yep.
Well, and then they start burning the rope so that she can fall in the spikes. And then once again, defying the laws of gravity, she does a from upside down leaping jump, double backflip, then lands on her feet 5 feet away. Like,
yeah. Well, when you're a good martial artist, you can do these things. You can double jump.
No, it's true. Yeah.
That's the secret. It's like, have you ever seen those videos of these like Chinese guys on, social media who will stand at the edge of like a pond or something and move so quickly, their feet touch the water and then they land back on the edge of the platform, which is really just falling and moving your feet really quick, but it makes it look like they're jumping off the surface of the water. It's super cool.
I've never seen one of those videos, actually.
I'll send you one later because they're dope. But it's just like that, she's an expert martial artist. She can do these things. We want to see our heroes do impossible feats. And
I just
so
want to see
naturally,
some crazy shit.
Yeah. She gives a little smile and then she just throws that woman onto the spikes.
And then we get the most Fulci moment of the movie, aside from the blood gusher, was she's just spiked all over.
Oh,
she's like full spiked.
Straight through. And the funniest thing is like all the guy, and that's gushing. It's gushing blood. You see why I told you got to watch the uncut version.
Oh, yeah.
But the funniest part, like, she just kicks her on there, and there's this, like, cut-in shot of all the guys just looking at this woman spiked through, and they're all like, oh. Like, they just pull this face, like, damn, that's nasty. They don't make any move to help. They don't make any move. They're just like, whoa. I'm glad that's not me. So, Koryu starts running away. The chase is on. It's time for, like, the big fights at the end. And we're going to go sub-boss by sub-boss. It's great. First, we've got our straw bucket hat goons show up. They're chumps. They've never been effective once. They look pretty cool, though. But who's our first sub-boss? This was one of the moments when I first watched this movie that I, like, sat up in my chair. I'm like, holy shit, did they really just do that?
Our first sub-boss is Mr. Guns. Mr. Guns pulls out what is his weapon of choice?
The sai.
What was his weapon? It was a sai. Yeah,
he's like
he had a sai.
He's like Mikey in the Ninja Turtles. Or was it?
And
Raph?
so he's.
Was it Mikey or Raph that had the?
You might.
The sai.
I
think
can't
it was
remember.
Mikey.
But so he's fighting. They're fighting and they're going at it and they're going crazy. And then she gets him in a chokehold.
Oh, it was Raph. It was Raphael.
And then.
Oh no! Before Guns, it's the purple shirt
this is before
guy
Guns.
with the
Oh,
sai.
you're right. Yes.
They're in the
they
hallway.
have the size and yeah. And
she kicks one out of his hand, and then does the most video game ass move you've ever seen.
Oh God, yes.
She front flips over this guy and throws the sai down right into the top of his head. And you see him like twitch and die with this sticking out of the top of his head.
He's
like
stumbling around
the soft
and falling
spot of
over
a baby.
And
just straight through.
The obvious, like, plastic side that's taped to his head is like jostling around and like
great.
Almost falling out
it's
like
great.
off the stick.
Blood
like,
all through his face. Now, the first
man.
time I watched this movie, I was watching it with a buddy, and the whole time we were just cheering at the TV for like ridiculous shit to happen. And my friend literally said like, do a flip and stab him in the head. And then it happened, and we were like, holy shit, this movie rules. So then, she busts into the room, and all the guys are there, and they're like, oh, it's over for you. You're going to die now. And that's when, white suit, knives guy, it's his turn to fight. Everybody's just watching this, by the way. There are like 8 dudes. But they're like, no, we'll watch him kill you. And they're all like, they're invested in the fight. And it goes on for quite a while. But it has the single best ending to a fight I've ever seen. And this is another one, as I was watching
absurd.
With friends. One, she is fucking him up, and his face is messed up. It's covered in, like, gnarly lesions and cuts and stuff, because she's just been going to town on him. Like, they did some effects makeup. And she goes to, like, choke him. And again, this is when watching with a friend, he said, everybody does a quick neck snap in a movie. Just once, I want to see someone slowly turn someone's head 180 degrees around. And sure enough...
oh boy, yeah.
Koryu turns this guy's head 180 degrees around slowly and with horrible sounds. And we get a 30-second shot of him spitting ketchup out of his mouth and walking the wrong way backwards down the stairs, head the wrong way around, even though he's very obviously just, wearing his shirt backwards.
Yeah, it's very obvious. But
it doesn't matter because the effect is good enough on the audience that you're like, oh my God, that's fucked up. And all the other, Kakuzaki and all the goons, they're just watching and they're like, oh shit. And the movie's dead silent this whole time. Then he says, kill her, go, everybody. And that's when Sonny and the girls show up. So now it's a big fight with everybody. The big melee we've been hoping for the whole time. It's finally here. And this is why the movie's X-rated. Because you remember Fatty Rapist?
Yes.
Do you remember what happens to Fatty Rapist when he fights Sonny?
Sonny just rips his tum-tum out. He goes, whap, whap.
Yup. Straight through and pulls his insides out. Literally, have you ever seen Ricky? Oh, the story of Ricky.
No.
Oh, well, that's a future episode right there. That's actually a manga adaptation.
Oh.
90s Hong Kong cinema manga adaptation. Actually quite faithful, too. But has some of the most ludicrous movie gore of all time. And the dub is rather infamous, but there's a line where somebody goes, "You got a lot of guts, Oscar," about a scenario very much like that.
Oh.
But yeah, so we get the good big fight, Sonny's kicking ass, looks very cool, even though there's a few kicks that are, maybe a little far away, but better than actually kicking your stunt guy really hard.
Yeah.
The sound design's ridiculous. The girls show up, they start kicking ass too. Everybody was not kung fu fighting, but karate fighting. Nunchuck guy also gets killed somewhere in there. I think Koryu just brains him with a nunchuck super hard.
Yeah, I think he just smashes his brain and he spits out blood.
I think there's a dent on his head or something. And Weird Dart guy also shows up, gets punched in the dick. Remember that. He didn't have his darts, so he lost the fight instantly. And I gotta point out, Nunchuck guy is wearing hot red pants and a fishnet shirt. Extremely odd fashion choice. Kinda good, though. But then it's time for the final confrontation. So naturally, we need to go to a different venue You know, it can't just be... Yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot the other guy, Inubashiri, finally has his rematch with Sunny. He also has a pretty brutal death.
Yeah, how does he kill him again?
Face shoved into the mirror.
Oh, yeah, he gets mirror smashed.
All those shards of glass in his face, and he stands up like he's going to keep fighting and then just falls over dead. Kind of badass. Cool mirror shot, too. You didn't even see the camera. It was, from like a production standpoint, this is all very competently made, I would say.
Yeah, it has some issues, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
She goes through the like spooky tunnel, and it has the fakest looking bats on a string you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
They're like, they would look bad at, you know, a haunted house your neighbor put on. But that's where Kakazaki shows up with no shirt and his stabby claws. And boy, he sure is like a flabby 45-year-old man.
Yeah.
Because
honestly, you would expect him to be very impressive here, but at the beginning of the fight, he really isn't. He's kind of
he runs away
like a bitch. like until they get out onto... Then this is the first time we finally get a little... It like is decently paced of they exit through a cave and then they're on the coast. Right. And it's like, okay, all right, now I understand how you got
now the
here.
Geography makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly turns into wire fu for a little bit.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Well, they both leap into the air.
We've seen them both do like a 40-foot jump before. Because Kakazaki does it away from the pool. She does it over the fence. And from upside down.
Okay, in lore, they can both do this.
Sure.
All right. That's, yeah. They
it's a martial arts movie.
They're fighting with each other and like, she gets his head between her legs, you know, and many people are now saying, I wish that was me. And then she's
I'm not saying I wish it was me. I'm saying I understand. He's afraid at this point. He's like running away.
Oh, yeah. But so they land on the ground with him tummy down, and then she flips him over and sees that, oh, whoopsie doodles, his claw was under there too, and he's gushing blood.
Stabbed him right in the guts. Not just gushing, we're talking like hydraulic spray. Paints her with blood. We get a great insert shot of that.
Yeah.
Of just like her standing there in her white outfit, just getting like there was someone off, screen with a hose just pumping blood at her. And he is spraying so much. And she's just kind of staring at him as he's just flopping around, painting the whole scene red. Even more blood than her brother. He was full of blood.
Yeah.
And then he's just dead.
And he's just dead. He's just dead. And then she just walks over to the cliffside, stares directly into the sun while holding the locket, and then the movie ends. It's over.
Yep.
It literally just ends.
Sunny shows up and is like, we did it. We stopped the drug ring. Sorry, your brother's dead. Like, yeah, you stopped it. Your brother's dead. Movie over. There's no, like, silver lining, happy ending. It's just like, here's the locket. Your brother loved you. That's it. And we get just, dramatic shot of her standing on the cliff, looking out over the water, pondering things. Very stylish, very dramatic ending. Completely insane movie.
It's just, there's so much you can say about this movie. There was just wild logic, inconsistent editing, just insane, like the lack of, like, the fact that nobody could figure out what this fucking dude was for the next hour of the movie. Like, it was fun, though.
It was super fun.
Very fun for how stupid it was.
It's the kind of thing that you watch late at night with some friends when all you want is to see something like what you've seen before, but a little different. That'll show you at least one or two new things. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, give me something I haven't seen. Well, I haven't seen a woman do a front flip over somebody and plant a sigh right in the soft spot of his dome. I haven't seen that before.
They were, in fact, breaking a lot of new ground with this. I'm sure nothing had ever been done in film before like this.
I mean, they immediately made 2 sequels. And by immediately, I mean the next film, Sister Street Fighter Hanging by a Thread, came out 3 months later. And the follow-up came out the following year. So 2 were 1974, 1 was 1975. I have all of them. I kind of love them. They're not movies that I would say are great, but they're pretty stylishly shot for the most part. Like, they're not boring visually. They move at a fast pace. Despite everything, they're still pretty easy to follow. And you got some good martial arts action with moments of unbelievable shocking violence that feel not quite out of place, but they make the tone very different to, your Hong Kong martial arts action, where those don't feel like exploitation films. And this does. This has that extra layer of grease that I personally find very fun. And,
I had a...
Did you have a good time?
I think I had a wonderful time. I was enraptured by this while I was watching it. I watched it. This is extremely fresh for me. I watched it about an hour before we started recording, or 2 hours before we started recording. So it is the freshest that a movie has been so far. Though next week's episode, it will also be very fresh. I'm going to rewatch again, just to make sure that it is fully ingrained within my mind when we watch Conquest.
Oh, I had to take notes with Conquest.
Oh man,
there's a couple things in that movie. Now that one's almost like a buddy movie with main characters Ilias and Mace.
It's I keep using this term I feel like I've used this term all episode, but it is an extremely Lucio Fulci buddy movie, because of course it ends the way that it. Oh, but we'll talk. I mean, we'll talk about it. We won't
spoil the ending.
Yeah,
but the first time I saw Conquest and saw the ending, I said, "Wait, what the fuck? What do you mean?" I will not elaborate.
Oh man, we'll elaborate next. You'll have to tune in next week to hear that.
Tune in next week.
But tune in next week, chat.
Sister Street Fighter, though, I have to give a very high recommendation to anybody out there who thinks, surely it's not as strange as they say. Surely it's just a normal martial arts action film. I would implore you to watch it. However, I must say, don't watch the version that's on Tubi. Don't watch the dubbed cut American version, because one, the transfer on that looks terrible. There is an excellent Blu-ray collection out by Arrow Production, who do a ton of great, collections like this for older films. Actually, I think you can get them for digital rental as well, but I am a physical disc kind of guy, as much as I can be. I have a DVD box set that released in the mid-2000s that is out of print. However, the Blu-ray is still easily available. I think it's worth it. Look up some clips online and you'll know what kind of movie this is.
Yeah, I think this is well worth a watch. Yeah, unlike Ticks, where I will never watch Ticks again.
I will watch Ticks again and recommend it to a friend. Ticks is that kind of B-movie creature feature we need more of.
Man.
And actually, if you're a fan of Tarantino films, I would strongly recommend Sister Street Fighter, because it's the kind of movie that you will watch it and say, this is the shit Tarantino was watching when he was a teenager that explains why he is how he is.
Yeah, this is how he became the beast incarnate.
Right. Except,
which
I don't know where he got the feet thing, but...
Do you know he apparently canceled his new movie and he's writing something else as his final movie?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was doing a movie about a movie critic, and he ended up being like, yeah, it was too much like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by the time I was deep into it, and I also, who the fuck wants to watch a movie about a critic anyway? And you know what was very funny to that? You know who responded to that a tweet about that, about the news story? It was the nostalgia critic. He responded with a sad gif of himself.
That's very funny.
It's very funny. I really like Doug. As much as you can criticize Doug for a lot of things, I really like Doug, and I'm glad that he understands how to take a joke. Like, he understands how to take a joke, and he's very lighthearted.
I've consumed almost zero Doug Walker content in my life. I'm aware of who he is by, just osmosis.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear he can take a joke about himself, because a lot of people can't.
No.
Quentin Tarantino
Really
included.
can't.
That's a whole different can of worms. Tarantino's movies want to be schlock, but they're not.
He's too competent. That's the problem. Like, he's too good of a director.
It's not even the competence. It's the spirit of the thing. Even when he tried to with Grindhouse, didn't quite land.
Yeah,
ironically,
honestly,
Robert Rodriguez understood how to do it.
My problem with Grindhouse, I'll be real, I think that Death Proof is my least favorite Tarantino movie. There's long periods of that movie that I find boring.
I think that's the point, because a lot of, exploitation movies have long periods that are just interminably boring, where they are just shooting random bullshit to fill time to get to, 80 minutes so they can sell to a distributor, or 73 minutes or whatever the minimum threshold for feature length was. So in that sense, yeah, he nailed it. Didn't mean it was fun to watch. I don't mind Death Proof. It's fine. It's probably his least, which still means it's pretty good.
No, it's not a bad movie. Like, it's still fun. That's the thing. Yeah, it's a Tarantino movie. So even though I think it's the worst Tarantino movie, I still think it's good.
Still pretty good.
Yeah. Dude, Jackie Brown is also a relatively weak movie, but it's got
good.
incredible parts of it. It's a very good movie. Yeah.
Oh, before we close, I do want to point out the director of Sister Street Fighter, of all 3 Sister Street Fighter films, is a gentleman named Kazuhiko Yamaguchi. He's still alive. He's 88 years old. He directed a bunch of movies in the 70s and never anything again before or after that, or has done some TV movies, but he directed essentially 2 types of film. Would you like to guess what the 2 types are?
I can't even possibly imagine.
So, obviously, karate action films.
Yeah.
And, Yakuza films as well. And a few erotic horror films.
Really?
Because in between the second and third Sister Street Fighter, as I was looking at his filmography, was a film called A Haunted Turkish Bathhouse. And I opened the page, and the promotional release poster just has full-on boobs on it. It's like, all right. And apparently a 2K restoration was just released on Blu-ray recently.
Huh.
Don't know if it's any good, but apparently the spirit of a vengeful woman manifests in the form of a monster cat in that movie. So,
Evil cats
takes all kinds.
That's
also some of the other movies he directed just by name. Champion of Death, which that's a pretty great title. Also starring Sonny Chiba. Karate Bear Fighter, which is apparently a manga adaptation of a manga called Karate Baka Ichidai, A Karate Crazy Life. I'm kind of interested to see what a 70s, manga adaptation movie is like. It is also starring Sonny Chiba. So expect lots of good punching and kicking, I guess, is the expectation. I would like to watch more of these. I've seen his sister Street Fighter movies. None of the others. They're all pretty much the same, really. But
yeah, it is a formula.
If you want a pretty lady hitting people really hard, Sister Street Fighter is for you. Also, despite the sleaze in the rest of the movie, the heroine is never really put in compromising situations. Like, she's not.
No, she's never been like is in danger at any point. Really, well, like sexual danger. Like,
right.
She's always, yeah,
almost surprising for the type of movie. That is not a complaint, to be clear. But I was a little surprised that it's like, oh, that was surprisingly, I don't know if respectful is the right word, but she always feels like she's the one with agency and control in the situations there.
Yeah, she never felt like, and any time that it was like, she would get her ass kicked every once in a while, but it was never, it never felt like she was in, like the classic, the standard, like, woman in peril gets groped, like that
right.
never happened to her.
Or like no one rips her shirt off kind of thing.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Never really exploited in that way.
I like
good
it.
Movie.
Clearly, karate exploitation, which is a genre you might not be familiar with. I feel like a lot of people in America, we know the Hong Kong action movies very well. We know kind of the, 90s and 2000s Japanese movies, but that like 70s period, 70s and 80s, where there's tons of delinquent films, there's tons of, Yakuza films, there's so much there. I feel like people should look into it.
It can be kind of hard to dig through, right? Because like a lot of that is very it's hard to find preservation of it unless companies were preserving it themselves. Like there's a lot of companies that handle that now of like finding negatives and 4K, doing 4K
Vinegar Syndrome. They're a great one for it. Arrow is another.
Yeah. But like, where are you supposed to find like if these things hadn't been, if that hasn't been done to a lot of these things, where are you supposed to find the tapes, right? Like you're looking scouring for like VHSs that might already be mold rotted, like that maybe like 500 to 1,000 copies were produced. Period. Like we're talking about stuff that in some cases is probably rarer than like a copy of stadium events.
Right. I mean, because no one knows, how many there were. When I got the DVD box set, I, looked into it at a local shop. The whole box set was $5. But at that time, it was out of print and there was no other printing. So it was quite, expensive if you had wanted to buy it online. Now that DVD box set is, cheap. It's like $15, which at that point, you may as well just pay $15 more and get the Blu-ray.
Yeah. You know what? Something that I wish was better I wish there was a place like price charting for DVDs and Blu-rays,
right?
And VHSs, right? Because like I've looked around and I've did some research about this just today actually, and people are like, oh yeah, you can check this or this website and they have pricing data, but then I checked the pricing data on those websites and it was completely inaccurate.
Right.
Like
wildly
I specifically.
Off.
Yeah, like I checked some of my rarer DVDs. Like I have the anime, the Final Destination-esque anime. I have the Blu-ray set of that. And it had like one print, and it's extremely hard to find. And it's like $120, $130 for the Blu-rays. And on there, they had it for like $200. And it's like, that's not the price. And like I just kept looking things up, and it's like, this isn't accurate, this isn't accurate, this isn't accurate. Like, I don't know where they're dragging prices from. Maybe Amazon or something. Like, I don't, right. I don't know.
Amazon's weird, because every now and then you'll see things on there that don't make sense for them to have it all. Like, so, you and I both have quite a lot of video games in our collection. I have a fairly large retro game collection. Feel like I'm understating it a little bit. But every now and then...
Do you have a unit count on your collection? Do you price chart it, or...?
I have not. I keep meaning to build a comprehensive database.
I think my collection currently is at like 370.
I've
trimmed it down considerably.
I have more than that just on NES.
Oh.
NES is somewhere around 400. everything all told, it's over 1,000 games.
Mm.
But every now and then I'll get curious and see, like, is there anything for the 3DO, the Panasonic 3DO on Amazon? And weirdly, yes, there was. Someone was just selling a copy of Total Eclipse for the 3DO on Amazon. Couldn't tell you why. It was reasonably priced. It was $15.
The thing that's actually one of the bizarre things about Amazon is that, because Amazon is not only, it's mostly actually not Amazon anymore. Like, Amazon does sell things directly, but a lot of Amazon is now third-party sellers, because what they do is they rent out their warehouse space where you can send shit tons of stuff into Amazon, and then it'll be in their warehouses and be on 2-day Prime shipping. And people can just buy it and get it, like, quickly shipped to their house from it being directly in the warehouses. So this is a whole cottage industry of every product in existence. Retro video games are a big one. People will send in thousands of copies of Wii Sports and Mario Kart Wii and stuff like this. And just, what's the crazy thing is? Amazon selling is apparently extremely fast. Like, people will send in, like, 200 copies of Wii Sports, and they'll be gone in a week.
For lack of a better term, a lot of normies, like people's parents, who aren't maybe savvy at shopping for games or using auction sites, they'll just say, well, what's on Amazon?
Yep, they just search the
I'll
name
buy it on Amazon.
Because there still is the stigma against eBay at this point. Like, there is still...
That's
even
insane.
Though
eBay's been around for
crazy.
Almost 30 years now, hasn't it?
Yes, but it's, what it is? All it takes is one bad experience, or even
eBay
an anecdote from a friend of a bad experience.
Founded in 1995, September, is eBay's 30th anniversary. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's that old, and people still have that, and it comes from, like, personal experience or anecdote of, like, one time something didn't show up or it wasn't in the condition they thought it was going to be in, and then they just never buy anything on there again. Like, forgetting the fact that, of course, you have the best return policy that there is, period, except outside of, like, Amazon, where it's just no questions asked. Basically, you just get your money back.
Insanely robust.
Yeah. And it's just... that's the problem, is that people, and you know what the most insane part about Amazon is? Almost all games are vastly more overpriced. Because and it's a couple of different reasons. It's one, it is the normie factor, but it's also the fee structure. So hold on, let me see. So the fee structure on eBay is between 14 to 13%. You lose on an eBay sale, not counting, and then you have to pay shipping on top of the 14 to 13%.
Yep.
On Amazon, it is 30%.
30?
30%, sometimes up to 40%, depending on the category. And so when you see something like a $50 Wii Sports, the reality is they are still making more than they would by selling it on eBay, but the amount of money that Amazon is taking out of that is more than any other platform. I don't think there's a single platform that has as high a fee structure as Amazon. There's also, like, fees for storage of the stuff that you send into the warehouses to sell through Prime, like, on top of it. So, like, someone will sell a game for $50 and they'll only get, like, $30 of it, which is still, $30 profit on a game that would have made you $20 profit on eBay is still fucking 33.3% more. But
it's wild.
It is a wild, it's a very wild system of how that it all functions. But yeah, like that. But sometimes if you dig for obscure stuff, you can find people that, like, just put stuff up on Amazon and then, like, I don't know, like, forgot about it or something, or, like, just never just didn't do a lot of market research. Like, I found games, like, I remember Blade 2 for the PS2. I was looking for a copy of Blade 2 for the PS2, and it was like $30 everywhere. I go on Amazon and I find it for $11 free Prime shipping.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And it shows up and it's complete and it's got the manual and the disc and the case and everything.
So I do have one Amazon story like that. How familiar are you with the Neo Geo Pocket Color?
Very familiar.
So do you know the game Fossile?
Yes.
Was one of the last games released for the system. By which I mean it wasn't
a blister pack, or did it have a cardboard box?
There is a very rare cardboard box, but it was mostly a blister pack. Because
so it was mostly loose, yeah.
After the console was canceled. So
it had already been failed, and they were trying to
do exist, but they were just, getting rid of it.
Yeah, they basically stopped producing the boxes, and what they would do is they still had stock of the consoles, so they would take the console and they would slap it in a blister pack with like multiple
other games. Yep.
Yeah, and it was usually stuff that was in the late production that barely got retail releases.
Yep. So my copy of Fossile I got on Amazon, that someone had just put on Amazon at some point. I think I paid $11.
Wow.
Which
I'm pretty sure that's ridiculous for an ESRB Fossile, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially
even
now.
At the time, a copy was probably about $40 to $50. So it was still cheap even then. And it was actually, I had heard a tip from somebody else like, yo, you got to look on Amazon. The picture is wrong. The picture will show Bob the Builder, but the item is right.
Oh.
And sure enough, I don't know why the picture was wrong. The listing said, Fossile, but that's how it was. All this is to say,
that's so funny.
DVD manufacturers, get your shit together. Get some kind of, centralized tracking. DVD collectors, get your shit together. Make it easier to look up activity in the marketplace, because everything else has it. CDs and records have Discogs. Maybe that does DVDs as well, but I don't think so. It's mostly for music.
Oh, also, I have some information for you. So what I was thinking about the box for Fossile, there was a box. It was a PAL release, which the PAL cartridges are still compatible with US systems. Right. They run the exact same.
Yeah, it's a region
but yeah, the nice outer box with the click on it was PAL only. PAL only. So the ESRB version was only released as a loose cartridge in a blister pack, and it is $300 for a cartridge alone.
Yep. I'm trying to think, what's the biggest discrepancy between what I've paid for a game and what it goes for now? There's some. I think I paid $20 for Popful Mail, complete in box on Sega CD.
Yeah.
Which now is like $500.
$600 now, maybe?
Somewhere around there.
It just keeps going up. All the working designs, like really obscure stuff, keeps going up.
Well, yeah, I got both Lunar Eternal Blue. Got both of those. They were $10 to $20 each. Because 15 years ago, nobody cared about the Sega CD.
No, nobody gave a shit. Like,
all
I remember I would go to 15 years ago, I would go into a flea market, and a guy had like tons and tons of Sega CD and Sega Saturn, and he would just cut deals, insane deals for me. Like, he already had them underpriced. He'd cut even deeper deals. I think I got my Thunder Force for like $50.
Yeah.
I mean, not Thunder Force. No, it was Lords of Thunder. My Lords of Thunder.
Oh, Sega CD.
For Sega CD for like $50. Like, it was just like piles of this stuff. And yeah, because back then, like, YouTube collecting videos had only started, like, and people really talking about obscure rare stuff had only just started burgeoning in the late 20aughts, early 2010s.
Up to then, it was just forums. People would chat online, like Atari Age and other, similar forums.
Yeah, Nintendo Age, Atari Age, Game FQs, like, you would see, like, people discussing. And now, with the advent of social media, with, like, having Twitter and YouTube and Discord and Facebook and, like, all these various different places to discuss this, the information is so widespread that the rarest stuff is drying up everywhere.
Oh,
like, you can't go into a random flea market booth and find obscure rare stuff for cheap anymore. And it's not, despite what everyone wants to...
if you get very, very lucky.
People want to cry about resellers all the time being the reason for it. No, it's collectors. It's the fact, like, it is... Like, if anything, I'm going to say something controversial. The resellers are the reason that these things aren't stuck in that random flea market booth, rotting for no one to find it. Like when the collectors had already gone through all these places. Like, they're making sure that in a lot of cases, these games are expensive but affordable within it. Because, like, imagine if only 2 copies of Haunting Ground got listed on eBay a year.
Right.
Like, what would happen? like if only whoever decided to sell their personal copy of a specific game put it up on a secondary platform. Imagine if there weren't people who were actively selling online. It would be a fucking nightmare to find anything. Everything would be stupidly expensive because it would be like, oh, as soon as this pops up, it's gone. We'd have $50 Mario 3s.
That game sold 40 million copies. We're not going to have $50 Mario 3. Even that will never rise to that point.
I mean, it's a $20 to $25 game now, and then, like, imagine if 1/3 or less of the copies got listed every year. Like, I could see it happening.
I can't see it happening. Not Mario 3 specifically. There's just no way. All this is to say, though, for any listeners, if there is a movie, on DVD, on Blu-ray, a game you see that you're like, oh, I've been meaning to pick that up, but maybe I'll wait. If you can, just buy it. Don't wait.
Yeah. Hunt around, obviously, first.
Right.
Like, I would say,
look for a good deal.
Go to your local thrift stores, go to your local flea markets, go to your local secondhand stores of any kind.
If you've got a local retro gaming shop.
Yeah, browse around any websites that sell this stuff, like Amazon, eBay, etc., and try to hunt down the best possible price with all options before you pull the trigger. But don't wait. Don't be like, oh, I'm just gonna buy that in like a year or two, because most of the time
it's not gonna go down.
Yeah. Also, I want to note it
There's a few rare exceptions, but
for my Mario 3 Gambit, that in the past 3 months, 2,100 copies of Mario 3 have sold on eBay alone.
I mean, it's one of the most popular games of all time, even still.
Oh yeah.
They were able to make an entire movie to advertise it for 2 minutes. That's how big a deal. The Wizard would be good for a Schlockcast.
I've never seen The Wizard.
Oh, it probably wouldn't land for anybody who was alive or who wasn't born before Mario 3 was out.
Man.
But I have a Power Glove. It is indeed, as the line in the movie goes, so bad.
Yeah, it is.
I do love it. In the Power Glove's defense, it works really, really well with Super Glove Ball, which is the game for which it was made. It works pretty poorly with literally everything else. But it does work. It's functional. Actually, that could be a fun challenge. See if I can beat, various NES games with my Power Glove.
That would be a good bit, yes.
I do not think I will do it, because I don't want to punch through my monitor, either accidentally or intentionally, when I am inevitably driven to the point of rage.
You trying to hang the sensors on the side of your monitor.
That's part of the problem, because they really need to be on like a box CRT. They're meant for a
the spatial
deep rectangular
display.
Yeah, I've tried to set it up for a stream before. It's very spatially challenging. Because also you need your hand right in front of you, and that's where my microphone is.
Yeah.
So either I'm going to punch the mic every 20 seconds.
Constantly just doing this, just...
or even worse. Because, mine's on a boom arm that's, off to... I have an L-shaped desk, that wraps around.
Yeah.
So it's off to the right. So you'd hear the, squeaky hinge like this. Constantly.
Oh, God. What kind of arm do you have, bro?
It's like a cantilevered arm.
Ooh,
spring-loaded on the top.
It's like, I think that's the arm, the generic arm that a lot of people have. I can tell by the crunch of the springs.
I kind of love it, because stays exactly where I put it.
Yeah, it does. It does. As long as your mic's not stupidly how heavy, then it is a decent arm.
It's a little heavy. It's an AT2020, but
yeah, that's light. Listen, when I say heavy, I'm thinking the Neat King B2 when I think of heavy.
Yeah, no, that would drag this to the floor.
Yeah, or like my tube mics or something like that.
Right. I have, a Shure SM50 is my other microphone that I'll use sometimes for recording stuff, for like loud, active vocal recording. And it's a mic I've used on stage a number of times. When my basement flooded last year and I needed to move my stream setup, it was on like a card table. There was nowhere for the boom mic to go, the arm. So I had literally like a floor stand for, an SM50, a normal mic, just like between my legs as I was sitting. Managed to make it work.
Man, dude, speaking of mics, so the other day I went thrifting. Shocker to no one who knows me. But I went in and on a random shelf in like the sports area, I found an SM58S. And it was in beat to fuck condition. Like we're talking like I unscrewed it. The foam that's usually in between was disintegrated and gone. Like it was the grill on the bulb was dented and rusty. The body of it was all messed up. The pins had like what looked to be rust on them, like the XLR pins. And like same with like the blue rust, the blue rust that it's also on like the screws on everything, but it was $6. So
you had to grab it.
I'm not gonna leave it there. Yeah. And so I brought it home. I plugged it in. I shit you not, it sounded incredible.
It worked fine.
It worked perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was smooth as butter.
Those are lifelong workhorses.
Yeah, they will.
Like my SM58, I got secondhand from a friend. Clearly beat to hell. Works perfectly.
I have found exactly one broken SM58 in my entire life. I don't know how they broke it, but it did look like a tank had driven over it multiple times.
I mean, those are meant so that
you know what?
A rock and roll show can spike it into the ground, and it'll be fine.
Now, the funny thing about that one was that I ended up sending it back to Shure to be repaired, and they said, this is irreparable. We will gut it for parts, and we are sending you a brand new one.
They just gave you one. So basically, you got a brand new one for $6.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, that was a different one. There's a different one. Okay. The one that I got for $6 is clean. It was a little dirty, but I cleaned it up and it's working now. The original, the other one I bought for $20, and that one was broken. And I sent it in and I paid like a refurbishing fee, and they just sent me a new one.
That's wild. Man. That companies will just do that sometimes. I mean, it's good customer service because now you'll recommend, them for everybody forever. But
yeah, no, I love, Shure is one of those companies that like I will always recommend people to use their microphones. Like Shure, Lewitt, Rode, like Neumann obviously, but Neumann like you're paying up.
Yeah, you're talking big money then.
Yeah, CAD, like all of these companies are all companies that have like great mics. Like all different price categories and different quality, because if you're buying a brand new Shure mic, then it's going to be a little pricey, but it's going to be really high quality. If you're buying a CAD mic, it's going to be a really good price. Too. Yeah. Oh yeah. If you're buying an SM7B, a 58, and the best thing about these is, I mean, if you buy a lot of these secondhand, they hold their value on second. They're not ever going to hold their value from new to secondhand because there's a bit of a delta on a lot of these things. But
right.
Like an SM7B is always going to be $200 to $250. An SM58 is always going to be $40 to $60. An SM57 is always going to be $40 to $60. Like they just like forever. I mean, they never go down in price. They'll never go up in price, but they'll also never go down in price. Like they're just stable forever because these are microphones that have been in production since the 1970s.
Right. They're just good.
Yeah.
Speaking of things holding their value, do you think next week when we discuss Conquest, directed by Lucio Fulci, that movie has held its value?
I can't... Did it ever get printed in anything? Like, did they ever release it? I don't know if...
No, it for sure saw a theatrical release.
Well, no, I mean on DVD.
On home video. Yeah, you can buy a Blu-ray of it right now.
Really? Oh yeah, Conquest on Conquest on DVD is rare. Actually, it's that Lucio Fulci white case. It's that same case that my House by the Cemetery has. So it is uncommon. It's about a $20 DVD if you find the Conquest DVD itself. Let me see Blu-ray.
Blu-ray, I'm seeing unavailable on Amazon.
Ooh, it's rare.
45 to 50 on eBay.
Yeah, it looks like, about 45 to 50 on eBay. Yep, Conquest is a uncommon, I don't like the poster as much on the Blu-ray, honestly.
No, the theatrical poster it's art. Everybody will see it. They'll agree. And all of that's in the movie. It's all there. We'll have to censor it a little bit for the YouTube thumbnail, but you will in fact see it. Code Red did the release of the Blu-ray, and then they just printed it once and then never printed it again. I guess. What's insane about the Blu-ray? It still looks like that.
Yeah,
it's the fog was not a flaw. That's a feature.
No, it makes sense. That's
you can't see a fucking thing in that movie. I'm so excited to talk about it.
I'm so excited. That's next week, though, chat. So I hope you've enjoyed Boys Night. We will have the Mado shall return next week, and we will be having a good time. We will be continuing on with Conquest coming next week. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Yes,
I've been hearing a lot of... So this is the first episode we're recording after the show has gone live and we have started to release episodes. And I've been hearing nothing but positive feedback so far. People have been have at least to me, I don't know what hushed. Maybe they're telling you that they think that we stink and we should all throw ourselves off bridges.
I've been hearing good things. I think the feedback I've mostly heard, probably just stick with the mono mix. People talking at you from either side. Some people don't like that.
It's interesting because the stereo mix actually has had more people watching it than the mono mix. But
I mean, it takes me 30 seconds to do it one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably just continue. We honestly should just. If it's easy, we'll just keep releasing. Yeah, we'll just keep releasing the stereo mix. Yeah, because why not?
Yeah,
why not?
I mean,
it's really
it's literally 30 seconds. It's very easy.
It's a little more processing time for me of like uploading, which is not that big a deal. It's not hard. Yeah.
All right, but we will be back next week with Conquest. Then I believe after that it is your film finally, Arthur.
Yes.
It'll be Final Destination
it is finally
2.
2, yes. I have been getting in the Final Destination mood. I picked up Final Destination 4 on Blu-ray recently for $1. I'm hunting for the rest.
Isn't Bloodlines now out on Blu-ray?
It is. Yes, it is already out. Yeah, it's out on streaming and it's out on Blu-ray now. And it is very peem. It's very peem.
I look forward to talking about 2. I have a lot of memories of 2, and I haven't watched it in a long time. So I look forward to that. But I think this is where we bid the listeners farewell. Thank you for listening, everybody. And we will see you next time as we discuss Conquest, which I think might be Takako's first Lucio Fulci film. I know she's been meaning to watch, the Gates of Hell trilogy.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that she loves stupid fucked up shit a lot. So
that's why I'm
surprised
she
never saw any of it.
Yeah. It'll be a good time to get her impression on that. I want to see if she agrees with what I screened Conquest in my Discord a little while ago. They came to the conclusion that too was yaoi. And I think I agree. Well, we'll talk about the tender friendship between an old murder hobo and a tender young hero at a
just
at
the
a later
softest,
time.
most supple boy. Yeah, that'll be coming up.
It's gonna be good.
Oh, God, it's going to be so good. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by and listening to us chat. We will see you. It's so hard to, throw off streaming mannerisms.
Right. I did
I've been doing a
notice
pretty good job of it.
You've been saying chat instead of listeners.
Listen, it's hard, okay? But yeah,
it's muscle memory.
We will, you'll be hearing from us again next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're doing the same thing we always do. I've been streaming a little less this past week of this recording, but I'm going to be ramping it up again. I've needed a break, honestly. Silk Song news has been extremely annoying, and I've been it's been a constant fight for me not to kill every single chat member. But yeah, I'll be streaming pretty regularly, going forward on my usual days. Got a lot of news to talk about on the day after this recording. What do you got going on right now, Bloom?
I am on my usual Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. Mondays and Fridays are always going to be retro games, always on real hardware. Wednesdays are always Doom, because the Doom community is extremely vibrant, so I'm playing new Doom content every single Wednesday. By which I mean new maps for classic Doom. There is
when are they
going to
start making maps for you? Has that started
yet? Yes. Quite a lot. In fact.
Let's go.
In fact, one map maker who's a friend of mine put in the music I use for my BRB screen is from Pebble Beach Golf Links on the Sega Genesis, and it's an outrageously cool, funky tune. Someone used that in a Doom WAD because of me.
That's so funny.
I was stun-locked when I encountered it. So I'm like, hold on. My Olden, did you do this on purpose because of me? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
So that has already been happening for a while now.
God, that's incredible.
I tuned into somebody else's Doom stream a while ago, and everybody in the chat knew me, which it's like, when you tell people something as a joke, like, oh, I went to the Silly Goose store and everybody there knew you. It's like, oh, I went to the Doom stream and everybody knew you. But actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small and dedicated community.
Right.
People have loved Doom since 92 and they'll keep loving Doom.
93 and Doom 2 since 94. But,
wait, the shareware didn't come out in 92?
Nope, it's December of 93.
Oh, okay.
Yep, still got the floppy disk somewhere. And I've been playing it since then. No, I think though when you stream something every Wednesday for 4 years, people tend to associate you with that.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
But that's
much like people associate me with screaming really loud and crashing out.
Right.
True.
Which, that's everybody's got a brand.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those in listening land, you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for listening to us. Look forward. I think we're doing every Wednesday for a release schedule?
Yeah, we're dropping every Wednesday right now, and we're gonna have to reconnoiter our recording night because the schedules have changed a little bit going into the fall.
Yep.
So we'll figure out our recording night, but we'll try to keep the release days on Wednesdays.
Yeah, I think we should be able to do that. I know I'm part of why we need to change our recording nights because I have a busy life as a professional musician outside of what I do streaming wise. And a lot of my regular gigs are starting back up again, which means my Tuesday nights will no longer be free.
Yeah.
But that's
so we'll figure it out. We'll
not
all jump
fear, listeners. You will get your weekly dose of schlock and yapping about schlock We won't let you down.
Yeah, we're dedicated to this. This project's been extremely fun. I've been having a great time with this.
It's a great excuse to watch more movies too.
Yeah, as if I wasn't doing it enough, but now I can watch even more, because I'll be real, it's kind of hard sometimes to sit down and just watch a movie alone, at least for me, if I'm not going to theater,
Right.
like that's, yeah, so it has been nice to just sit down and like just watch a movie and get almost not distracted throughout the entire thing.
Almost,
yeah. Listen, sometimes I'll look at my phone, but it's an impulse. I have an addiction. It's social media's fault. I blame Mark Zuckerberg. We'll see you next week, chat.
Bye.
Bye.